All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful day. It was a wild start to the week led by Bitcoin in the chip stacks. And by the end of it, everybody was brought up with the moral dilemma, we'll call it, of why they are trading anything else and not just buying NVIDIA because it keeps outperforming. So, Chad, we got a ton of things to talk about. Tomorrow, we'll kick off the first set of big data to start off a week filled with big data and Powell. We still got a couple of earnings in the morning, and now we are firmly getting ready for March and the new SEP only a couple weeks out. So, Chad, I got the plays, I got the keys, all that good stuff. What I need from you, a thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed, and if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open, youtube.com/thestackmarket. We will see you there in the morning. Run it, baby.
Working in the couch, it's the 2020 last. Live in the hills, but still get a spread. Started with a live, but still reinvest it. Feel how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but the sound like progression. Farming never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it.
But right off the bat, before we get into the keys, as far as what happened today, there was a lot of different things going on. The chip seemingly got a boost because SMCI got added to the S&P 500 on Friday. That boosted it up, and I figured NVIDIA followed along. There was bad headlines out of Apple. There was a couple of earnings, even SE. They ended up doing good in the morning. There wasn't good news out of China, and overall, we were kind of in a wait-and-see mode after all of the data and PCE and data that you got on Thursday and Friday last week. So that's what got us here, but the interesting part about it, and we're going to talk about this a lot, you'll notice everything was down. Every index closed in the red. SMCI was up 16%. NVIDIA was still up 4%. And even though we were red today, I believe more stocks ended up closing green than in the red. So it was an interesting dynamic. Maybe a little weird is how you've heard us call it here before, because you did it once again. We hit a high and then you sold off. So even though it was red, you are coming off of an all-time high, and then we are kind of doing this back and forth until we get the big data. So that's what we got today. I think we're going to get a lot of that tomorrow. There wasn't really anything to digest today. We did not start off the week with any crazy data. It was really just the resumption of last week and everybody digesting that. And like I said at the beginning of the video here today, the data tomorrow morning, ISM services, that should kick things off, and it's going to let us know how the bonds are going to react. Are we going to get another week of equities kind of brushing things off and waiting for the biggest set of data and letting the bonds do its thing, as well as the dollar? That's another big effect. Or are we going to see things kind of move sensitively? But like we said yesterday, this is the final weeks of big data. After this week, this is the final ISM and final non-farms and job openings, and that's on Wednesday, not Tuesday, that you are going to be getting ahead of Powell. You do have CPI next week, but for the most part, this set of data here, it should get the ball rolling, and now we'll see how sensitive people are, because this is that runway starting to close in. So keep your eyes out for all of that. Watch out for that for tomorrow. Today was an interesting effect, and now that leads into the second key. The phenomena you saw today is something we were talking about the last couple days, and that has been the broadening out of the market. It is very much still a theme, and you saw that clearly here today. Even though the market was red, you saw certain industries outperform. Another industry besides the chip makers, it was the banks. Even though NYCB, they sold off completely, the regionals and the big banks, they found a way to hold up, and this is something where if you just look across the board today, there was a lot of other industries that held up. Even the Russell, it barely closed red, and really up until that last 30 minutes, it was green. So watch if this keeps playing out, because if we keep getting these hit an all-time high and then sell off, and then a couple of the big names are running, or just a couple of big chips, the other big names stay stagnant and everything else runs, this is quite telling towards how the market is moving. And maybe this is where we see March kind of play out, where some of the big guys calm down a little bit and then we watch everyone else run, or we're going to watch the dominant names, or maybe it's an everything rally. Who knows? But like I'm saying here, watch how other things play into it, other factors, whether it be the data or even broader sentiment. That's where that Bitcoin stuff comes into play, because even if nothing is moving, it may seem like it's only one or two areas, but like if one thing is moving and like Bitcoin is moving big, that is saying a lot about how people are feeling towards risk. And lately, it has been hard to ignore the lagging and leading components of both of those, both the markets and Bitcoin. So watch out for that. We'll see how this week plays out, and if things keep broadening out, or if specific pockets keep getting their outperformance. And then finally, the last thing I want to mention here is coming into the data, we had very strong gold today, right below all-time highs. Crypto is breaking out, and the dollar is still near the highest point of the year, and now this is getting kind of awkward. My question is it snitching before the data? We will find out, but what I'm saying here is now coming into this final set of data, I do think CPI next week, it will be very important. The jobs report is this Friday. Last time it was very strong. We did react negatively a little bit. Eventually, equities went up, the bonds went down. We'll see how that plays into this next week, and then even the CPI. But you are starting to get some very weird and extended movements, especially now that gold is going up while the dollar is up and the odds of rate cuts have pulled back. So we'll see if this is either leading, or maybe we're just going to get a whole new dynamic. We will have to wait and see, but this is something that stood out. I don't really have an answer to it, but I'm pointing it out now because this is something I will be watching into these coming weeks ahead of the SEP. But besides that, we'll take the data this week, see where it leads us, see some of the earnings, but now let us get into the plays. So, right off the bat, we made a couple of plays here today. I got clapped here off the morning. I went after uranium. I grabbed 1,000 shares. I only meant to grab 500, then double filled on CCJ, but there was a uranium bill, so watch out for that. I did take profits, I believe, on that Intel play. If you guys remember, those averaged down with the chips, and then I think that was it. And then we sold AMT, and then I bought a Pfizer there while they spoke at TD Cohen, but that was a dub. But as far as play number one, this is a play I don't have for tomorrow. I'm going to be keeping an eye on Coinbase. They were hitting like 235 today, and this is an absolutely massive move. If they get up to 250, there is going to be a lot of crazy breakout levels, and that's what I'm saying here. I would just watch the levels, maybe even watch for them to top out and even a move to the downside. But for now, they are getting involved with all of the crypto hype, and the thing about today, they were outperforming the miners. I think all of the crypto miners went down and closed pretty solidly red today, and Coinbase was absolutely killing it along MSTR. So crypto is only a couple of $100, I believe, away from a record high. Coinbase is now getting back to like early IPO levels. I even think after one of my average downs in the long term, we're almost green on this. So this is going to be one to watch. I think there is just going to be a lot of dollars in this play. If you remember last year with NVIDIA, there was a lot of dollars and a lot of movement. You might get that here on Coinbase because it is quickly into the 230s. It was just at the low or mid 100s, and now if it's knocking on the door of 300, things will start getting very interesting. So as far as a momentum play, going to be keeping my eyes out on Coinbase. I currently have no plays on that, so watch out for that. That is play number one. Then play number two, we ran the numbers here today, and this one, although I wanted to play it, I don't think the options were priced too bad. I figured we will get a better post-earnings on this tomorrow, and I am talking about Target. So the options weren't too bad for 2 standard deviations. There was a little bit more of premium, but the way I was looking at it, their last earnings, they had a very big move. Other than that, their other earnings weren't that big. I think they are going to move in line. So watch out tomorrow with how they move. And the thing about Target, these are one where they report in the morning, they have their conference call. It is either going to have one of those quick reverse follow-up moves right off the open, or it's going to make that big move off of the earnings, kind of stay pinned, and then wait for the delayed move a couple days later, and then we're going to be out on the lookout for a swing trade on Target. So watch out for that, but definitely going to be watching this in the morning. We'll see if it even sparks anything related to the consumer, as everyone's in the spirit of responding to data this week, but we'll find out. That is play number 2. Then play number 3. Oh, I think I actually have more than 2 plays for you today, or 3, but play number 3, SPXEW. And this one's interesting because you could play this or you could watch it. At the very least, I would watch this as an indicator, and right now it is an interesting hybrid between the Russell and the SPY. What is the SPXEW? It is the SPY equal weight, so it is showing you the S&P 500 but on an equal weight basis, so one or two stocks that go up 300-400% don't weigh on it and make it look like everything's going crazy. And why this has been so fascinating, because if you pull out the equal weighted SPY index, you will notice it is not broken out of all-time highs. I think you could say the same thing here about the Russell as well. This is something we've talked about from the beginning of the year. I did sell out recently, but this one has also been trailing behind as well. So the thing about the Russell, equal W, equal weight, I think it's a good mix between both the SPY and Russell. You could play it if you want or watch out for it, but again, days like today, I think it really stood out because this thing was positive even though the market was red, and even though it seemed like Bitcoin and chips was increasing risk, the market was red, and you did have some bigger names pulling down, but a majority of names were higher. So watch out for that. Thought that was an interesting one to bring up. And then finally, play number 4. This was one, forgot to bring this one up yesterday. I made this play on Friday. I'm still holding it. Had 500 shares of SPR. I believe I grabbed them around 32.80. I'm up like 4 or 5% on this. I may want to get out of this one tomorrow or throughout the end of the week here, but they had that news from buyout. There was more confirmation. No price has been discussed, and that's pretty much why this play has been riding out. So keep your eyes out for it. There was a couple like that, like ATIS last week, and they held up and kind of melted up, and we didn't get a follow-up. So we'll see how this one ends up playing out. But that is play number 4. There was even news on Boeing today, but as far as everything else, I told you about the options that I got out of. The only other play that we made today for earnings was Ferg. I saw that they just absolutely killed it. Had a crazy pre-earnings run up, so I grabbed an out-of-the-money put at like 180, 190, and it was like $20, and they were just there. So thought it was a very great deal. They were only pricing in 5%, and then it went up before the close, so I made it free, did a ghetto spread on that, and I sold the contract below it for more than I paid. So no risk for earnings. Sold out of ARM shares, got like a $600 profit, and then that was the only trades I made. And like I said, I went after that uranium play, but I got clapped on that. But down to swing that here, and we'll see how uranium plays out. Last time if there was anything related to a bill, it went a little crazy, but we will find out. Besides that, we'll ride the data. Still in bond plays. I may look to exit some of those around some of the data releases this week. Other than that, we'll take it all as it comes, ride the golden path, and see where Powell and the data will leave us. But Chad, that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure Hydrate Healthy ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. And I need you to remember, you should make a habit after all of the disappointments being good, because sometimes it is all leading you right where you need to be, baby. Listen to the signs and don't fight it. You are right where you need to be. But Chad, drink that water. Stay hydrated. Stay healthy. I'll see you in the AM. Get ready for a lot more on the way. And horn.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the P1 Max Verstappen podcast with Matt and Tommy. Today we are of course reviewing the first race of the season. We are back, Formula One in 2024, and what a delightful, nail-biting fight it was between Yuki Tsunoda and Daniel Ricciardo for P13 and P14 on the cool-down lap. Am I right, Tom Bellingham? What a race, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, Formula One is back, and it's like it's never been away for many reasons, why it feels like 2023, the sequel. But
Certainly
we'll get
does.
into it.
We certainly will. Before we do, want to quickly do a shout out for our P1 live show tickets. If you haven't got them already, we're doing Cambridge, Bath and London, middle of April. Come and join us, meet like-minded Formula One fans. People have come on their own, people have come in groups. It is such a wonderful experience. We'd love to see you there. Link will be in the description and all over our socials. Okay, let's start with our most memorable moment, and my most memorable moment, when it ended.
Wow.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful
In this video, we will look at a trendline breakout.
Weeks of 2024. Investors are also jittery ahead of congressional testimony from Fed Chair Jerome Powell on Wednesday and Thursday. That will be followed on Friday by monthly payrolls data. Powell is expected to double down on the message that the Fed will be patient in cutting rates. That's especially so after Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostic said Monday he expects the first cut, followed by a pause. A string of strong economic data has already forced markets to push back the first rate cut to at least mid-year and trim the number of reductions this year to 3. If Bostic wants one cut then a pause, you can't help but wonder if the Fed is wavering on 3 cuts, said Societe Generale strategist Kenneth Brew. The data is doing the talking and it's really not screaming for the Fed to cut rates. We have taken out 3 Fed cuts in the past 2 months, so now the question is, do we need to take out more? In Europe, the Stoxx 600 index slipped 0.2%, with automotive and mining shares the hardest hit as China's latest market support measures, announced Tuesday, failed to reassure investors. Among individual stocks, defense firm Thales SA jumped after forecast-beating results, and Spirent Communications plc soared after Viavi Solutions Inc. agreed to buy the electronic solutions provider. Earlier, Hong Kong equities fell as much as 3% while mainland Chinese benchmarks closed slightly higher. After China's National People's Congress delivered a slew of announcements on growth and inflation targets, as well as steps to shore up the economy. Overall, I would say it probably disappoints more based on announcements thus far, said Xian Yaoying, an investment director at Aberton. Investors still will like more forceful fiscal measures to boost the economy. In bond markets, Treasury yields slipped after rising across the curve on Monday, when buyers shied away from U.S. 3- and 6-month bill auctions amid uncertainty over Powell. Elsewhere, gold traded near record levels, while Bitcoin slipped to below $67,000, still holding off the record high of around $69,000. Are markets frothy? Strategists at JP Morgan say yes, with the team's Marko Kolanovic saying the dramatic rally in U.S. stocks and Bitcoin's rapid surge above $60,000 is indicative that bubbles are beginning to form in markets. The team at Goldman Sachs counters that the mood is warranted and high valuations for big tech are supported by the prospect of high growth. The S&P 500, which slipped slightly yesterday from yet another record, is set to drop again today, as is the Nasdaq 100. Bitcoin is also slightly lower as I type, though some punters are using options to bet the coin will go as high as $80,000 by the end of March. Bitcoin is now worth a record $1.35 trillion, meaning only 6 of the world's listed companies are more valuable: Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Aramco, Amazon, and Alphabet. Apple trips up. Bad news for Apple, which is commanding a smaller slice of China's smartphone market, is souring the mood in stocks today. A wave of patriotic buying from Chinese consumers is helping local brands outdo foreign counterparts like Apple, whose market share fell below 16% in the first 6 weeks of the year. Down from 19% a year ago, according to figures from Counterpoint Research. China's homegrown champion Huawei is getting a larger slice, more than 16% now versus 9.4% a year ago. While competition and geopolitics are one side of the coin, a broader market malaise is also undermining Apple's iPhone sales in China, which sank 24% over the first 6 weeks of this year. Apple shares have lost about 9% in 2024, missing out on the big tech rally. China's targets. Beijing's economic goals for this year look more ambitious than in 2023, and yet to some investors say they are not ambitious enough. The headline figure is a GDP growth target for around 5%. Which is in line with expectations and matches the goal set last year, though a higher year-on-year base means it will be harder to achieve this time. The language used by officials also showed more resolve, namely Premier Li Qiang's call to action for joint efforts from all fronts on policy support. But even as the government plans to ramp up spending, China kept its headline fiscal deficit at last year's 3% target, suggesting officials are still looking to balance their growth ambitions against a backdrop of rising financial and systemic risk, namely in the debt-laden property market. A lack of firm plans also disappointed some investors. Powell's patience. The Federal Reserve's rate cut outlook is very much on the agenda for markets this week. Fed Chair Powell heads to Capitol Hill tomorrow for his semi-annual testimony before Congress, where he is expected to maintain a hawkish stance and signal the Fed is in no hurry to cut interest rates. That lack of urgency was highlighted by Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostic on Monday, who said he expects the first cut, which he has penciled in for the third quarter, to be followed by a pause. Futures markets are currently looking at the first Fed cut in June or July, and pricing in just over 80 basis points worth of easing in 2024, which translates into about 3 reductions. The rate-setting committee will update its forecasts for rates at the next meeting on March 19 to 20. Top overnight news. China's 2024 economic objectives targets were largely in line with expectations, and a fiscal deficit of 3%. Wall Street Journal. China drops peaceful reunification language with regards to Taiwan as it pledges to boost defense spending by 7.2% this year. RTRS. Apple Incorporated's iPhone sales in China fell by a surprising 24% over the first 6 weeks of this year, according to independent research that may stoke fears about worsening demand for the marquee but aging device. BBG. Japan's Tokyo CPI came in at plus 2.6% YY on the headline, up from plus 1.8% in Jan, and firmer than the consensus forecast of plus 2.5%, while core cooled to plus 3.1%. BBG. Gaza ceasefire talks end in Cairo without a breakthrough as pressure builds for a deal before the start of Ramadan on 3/10. RTRS. Hawkish policymakers at the European Central Bank have been emboldened to resist calls for an imminent cut to interest rates at their meeting this week after inflation proved stickier than expected. In February. FT. Bitcoin ETFs are seeing assets rise at a record pace. Total inflows have been nearly $50 billion since the approvals arrived on January 11. BlackRock's product became the fastest new ETF in history to hit $10 billion. Wall Street Journal. TGT plus 6% pre-market after reporting strong FQ4 Gen EPS upside, WA 60% YY spike to 2.98 versus the Street's 2.40 forecast. The EPS beat was driven primarily by margins while comps were in line. RTRS. AMD fell after its plan to sell an AI chip tailored for the Chinese market hit a roadblock. U.S. officials found the low-performance chip was still too powerful and AMD must obtain a license to sell it, People Familiar said. BBG.
Ta-da! So yeah, AMD news, a little bit of Apple news. That Bostic comment too, that's been upsetting some people about getting a rate cut and then pausing. So that was part of it, but don't worry. We still have more news here. S&P futures, they're down by 0.3 Tuesday morning after major U.S. indexes finish lower in a Monday session marked by dispersion. AI, semis, hardware, banks, precious metals outperform, while several mega-cap names lag. Treasuries firmer with curve flattening after a notable backup in yields in the prior session that reversed most of Friday's rally. Dollars up by 0.1, gold is up by 0.4, Bitcoin off by 0.3, and WTI is down by 1.1. Market on the defensive ahead of ISM services this morning. Powell tomorrow and non-farms on Friday. Some focus on China-related headwinds facing Apple and AMD, while MPC targets seem to underwhelm. Some other recent bearish talking points have revolved around sticky service inflation, jump in break-evens, stretch long positioning, stretch valuations, mega-cap, tech dispersion, and bubble talks surrounding the likes of AI and crypto. Bulls focused on better U.S. economic growth, Fed pivot, stable 24 earnings expectations, buybacks, passive FOMO inflows, AI, and GLP-1 secular growth tailwinds. ISM services for February that highlights the U.S. economic calendar today, along with final February S&P Global U.S. Service PMI and January factory orders. Fed Vice Chair for Supervision Barr is also speaking, though it'll be a panel discussion of the Community Reinvestment Act. A few overseas developments in focus. China MPC headlines largely match expectations with the 24 growth target around 5% and largely unchanged budget deficit of 3% of GDP. Tokyo core CPI jumped to 2.5 year over year in February from 1.8 in January, driven by fading of government subsidies and in line with consensus. China Caxton Services PMI expansion unexpectedly slowed in February. Target posted a big Q4 margin-driven EPS beat and full-year guided largely in line. Apple on the defensive again on a report. iPhone sales in China are down 24% year-over-year in first 6 weeks of 24. AMD weak on report that it was hit by U.S. regulatory roadblock, selling AI chip tailored to China. MSTR down on plan to sell $600 million in coverts with proceeds to be used to acquire additional Bitcoin. AOB down on plans to sell $1.75 billion in depository shares, while some of the proceeds expected to be used for Project CapEx. GitLab under pressure with strong Q4 results, overshadowed by softer full-year 25 guidance. AVAV up big on beat and raise, Pay up big on better EBITDA guide. Stitch Fix saw continued declines in net active clients and lowered full-year revenue guidance. Teed up, EBITDA missed, but some takeaways upbeat on execution and transition. And I think that may be it. Is that all we have? Busy macro week. Chair Powell's testimony on Capitol Hill set to appear in Congress, starting with Wednesday's appearance. Preview said Powell unlikely to deviate much on his comments. January FOMC meeting of recent messaging from other top Fed officials, including that there has been 6 good months of data, but wants to see more evidence inflation is returning, noting risk of reaccelerating. Fed can remain patient. Balance sheet runoff will be another sticky topic of concern. Appearance follows Friday's release of sentiment and monetary policy report. I think that's it. AMD, China, and Apple. I think those are your top 3 things here to start off the day. But don't you worry, we still got some plays. A lot of biotechs here today too. So FMS, they're up 11.4 in reaction to NVO flow trial outcome. Target is up 8.3 off of earnings. DaVita is up 6.0 in reaction to NVO flow trial. Coin is up 3.3. SE is up 1.7. CGS CIMB upgrade. NVIDIA up 1.4. APGE up 36.6. Interim results of phase 1. Healthy volunteer trial for APG 777. Pay is up 19.9 off earnings. AVAV 18.3 off earnings. VVX up 12.6 off earnings. GoGo 7.1. VIAV 6.5. BL up 5.1. IMNM up 4.6. DWALK 4.0. FRO up 3.9. KYTX up 3.1. AU 2.5. FWRG up 2.1 off of earnings. CASI up 42%. Interim phase 1 data. BI 1206. RGNX up 27%. New initial efficacy data from phase 1, phase 2 Affinity Duchenne trial of RGX 202. Fun is up 26.5. Dave is up 15.0 off of earnings. DSP up 13.3 off of earnings. CIFR up 10.8 off of earnings. PPTA up 10.0 off earnings. LVTX up 9.2. Clinical development milestone achieved by Pfizer for PF 08046052. Swin is up 9.1. SPRY 88. Lyric Partners upgrade. Lex up 7.7. BBAI up 6.9. Warrant exercise agreement with investor. ACIU up 6.6. SMR 6.2. MYE 5.6 off earnings. Azul 4.7 considering buying Golineth Arraeus. IMMP up 4.3, first clinical data of 90 milligram dosing of FT. GSIT up 4.2, RSSS up 4.1, GZXN up 4.1, OM up 4.0, CECO up 3.8 off of earnings, MGX 3.7, Jeffries initiation, RSKD up 3.7 off earnings, AXGN up 2.8 off of earnings, GitLab down 23.5 off earnings, ALB down 7.3, 1.7.5 billion depository share offering. TKO down 3.8, 5 million share block being shopped through Morgan Stanley. Ferg down 3.7 off earnings. GFS down 3.0, Susquehanna downgrade. Tesla down 2.4, evacuates Grunheide factory after power outage due to suspected arson. MSTR down 2.4, 600 million convert. Apple down 2.2. iPhone sales in China down 24% over the first 6 weeks of 2024. Celsius down 2.1 insider sale. AppLovin down 2.0. Rivian down 2.0. Micron down 1.9. XHAS down 1.9. CPNG down 1.6. Skyworks down 1.6. Car down 0.1. Agreement to sell industrial business to Sentinel Capital. SEMR down 12.2. SoFi down 9.6. 796, 750 million convertible senior note offering. Seat down 8.5 off earnings. Coast down 8.5, 300 million convert. SBSW down 7.4 off earnings. AS down 7.2. Tandem down 4.3, 250 million convert. INTA down 4.1, 7 million share offering for holders. CC down 2.4, UBS downgrade. AKRO down 1.8, 300 million common stock offering. Fufu down 19, Vivek down 18.4, Karja down 15.0 off earnings, EXO down 14.8 off earnings, Stitch Fix 12.6 off earnings, MTC down 11.9, Saidu down 10.0, SMRT down 9.7 off earnings, and Wish is down 1.9 off of earnings. My goodness, yeah, everything is down for now. Again, we're getting into a little bit more of hiccups this morning. A lot of different news from Apple all the way down to chips. And we got a little bit of data 30 minutes after the bell. But Chattadonia, that is all the plays. I got a couple of things. I'm going to be watching SPR, CCJ from yesterday, Target Post, AMD and Apple. They got the news, and then FMS. That was, again, one of the biotech. It's related to NVO. I want to see how that one plays out, but it's kind of just holding up there today. besides that, I think we're going to see, and then after ISM, I think we should be able to start getting some moves. And I sold out of my ZB. I got a pretty good profit on my ZB this morning, so I sold out of that, and I took profits on my bonds. So remember, we rolled over the other day, and I even did one on the watch list there. I'm out of that play. That one was a good one this morning. So on that note, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Follow me on Instagram at The Trading Fraternity. Hit that like button. We get 1,000 likes. We'll be looking good. We might have plays. I think we might have target post earnings. So hit that thumbs up button. God bless all of you, Chatadonia. And I will BRB.
And for many
I will
years,
BRB.
it
We
was
got some
the
time.
bond
We
market
got
has
some
been
time. I
allowing
want
the
plays
US
when I come
government to
back.
borrow with impunity, right? We've been able to have extraordinarily low rates, and despite the fact that the debt relative to GDP was at historic highs, our debt service payments were at historic lows. So during that time period of low interest rates, it was fine. Today, it's not so fine. Interest rates have gone up significantly. Borrowing costs for the US government have risen significantly. Now you throw on a presidential election in a year when we need to refinance about 30% of all US government debt. That doesn't even include new debt. And then, by the way, voters don't fully understand that the US government has very little ability to change its spending. I know here we're talking about potentially tax cuts or increased spending, but even the ability to sort of cut spending from where we are today is very, very limited. So this is a really big challenge if interest rates stay where they are.
And if they stay where they are, Rob, I just want to close off with this. The dollar has had a phenomenal outperformance predicated on a number of factors. One is the uniqueness of the US's strength and economic strength, but also in the shaving back of the rate cut narrative to 3, which is where you're at in the money. Does that cyclical dollar strength endure? Is the dollar a hedge going into a political vortex, one could say, towards the back end of the year?
Well, I think that the dollar strength is going to key off of the Fed. So if we get the Fed to really ease more aggressively than kind of we're expecting, which would be more than 3 cuts or so, you would definitely see the dollar coming off. Cyclically, the dollar is relatively strong. So we should be in a kind of environment where as the Fed cuts rates, if the U.S. economy is slow, that U.S. exceptionalism that you were talking about in the economy will kind of leak away a bit, and the rate, the carry in the dollar will come off a bit, and that should allow the dollar to come down.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rob. Thank you, Rob Waldner and Karen Murphy. My guest this morning on Super Tuesday. Coming up, we've got your morning calls. We've got Schwab's Omar Aguilar joins me around the opening bell. We're going to look ahead to Chair Powell's testimony and the key U.S. economic data. That conversation right ahead on Bloomberg.
Right ahead. And now on Chadbag. As the Josh gives all the plays, he looks to the Chad to post the first play of the day in the Chad. Chatadonia, what do you got for me, baby? Let's go. You got a couple of minutes till the bell, couple of minutes till the pledge. What is your first play of the morning? Tesla puts, AMD puts, NYCB, AMD, TQQ, ARM120 put, looking directional, MES, Boyle call, SQQ, sitting on hands, holding target, SPY put, SPY call, gold call, GDX call, Mara, Nike MO shares, exit FERC put, TLT, TGT, SPY put, TGT and Walmart, Tesla put, watching my Intel call die, Bitcoin long, Tesla, Marvel, sell AMT, lagging or lace shares, UUP, uranium explosion, no play, target calls, AMD, target, shorting bonds, Palantir, holding target, taking half of target profits, waiting for funds to settle, CXAI, SPY calls, SMCI, small good decisions, buying more SPY, watching NVIDIA call die, Google sell, Liam call, Dogecoin and Kroger, Neo calls on the Chad, riding SPY puts, good morning, MSTR, calls on Paul, Super Tuesday, SPY puts, TLT, FXY, puts on healthcare, BBAI, holding utility, SLV, long yen in bonds, F350 calls, Philo calls, GitLab, Tesla shares, Tesla put, and the final plays. Baidu LT ad, holding target call, Broadcom puts, Mara shares, and the final play, AMD hold. Let's go, baby. So let's go. I don't have that many plays to start off. Again, we're going to watch a couple. There is, like I said, a lot of biotechs, but a lot of them are either partnerships or trial data, and they've moved up a little bit. Again, a couple of the post earnings there, and I do think there will be a lot of attention on AMD and Apple, so we will find out. But other than that, should be pretty straightforward. Again, it is kind of a bigger hiccup than we have dealt with in the last couple of days. Bonds are absolutely ripping today. Again, I got out of that play already, so we'll see if there's a double dip around the ISM. That's about 30 minutes after the bell. But Chatadonia, you got 30 seconds until the pledge. Any questions? Any questions? Did you hit the like button? This is a great time for me to remind you about the like button and everything the like button unlocks. Limited time offer. Limited time offer. You got 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds, baby. And then we get into the pledge. Let's run it, baby. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, my friend. And honestly, I got a bigger thank you. I got a bigger thank you I'm waiting on. Yeah, baby. And you know who it is? Yes, every morning, man. Before we do anything, we like to send out a very special thank you and appreciation to a very special group of people that has made a sacrifice that most of us never have and never will make. And I am talking about the veterans of the United States of America. So on behalf of the cult, the people here, the people not here, want to give a huge special shout out all the active servicemen, past servicemen, anybody who has served this country, even their families, for real. Thank you for holding it down. Thank you for serving, whether you have agreed or not, whether somebody told you to do it or not, and you are all about it or not, man. Y'all serve for something bigger than yourselves and for people y'all have never even met. The least we could do is show that love and appreciation. So veterans, thank you, thank you, thank you. And big shout out to anybody else out there making their community run. All the doctors, nurses, teachers, firefighters, police officers, the janitors, the garbage men, the coaches. You're giving back to your community, making it run, baby. That's where it all happens. So God bless you and thank you. But ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Place your right hand over your heart. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, baby. Senator Jets! Oh, it's game time, baby. Horna, let's go. Oh, Chatadonia. Chatadonia. The Jets have been sent, and we have 2 minutes to like the video, to get 1,000 likes, to ask how we're almost at 1,000 likes. Let's go, baby. Y'all turn it up at the last minute. Every morning, y'all ready to go. The likes don't look like they're there, and then all of a sudden, y'all show up out of nowhere. So let me know if you got a like still hanging on there. Otherwise, if you have any questions, now would be the time to do it. Again, we got a couple of big things here today. The story out of China, their growth didn't excite anybody. AMD they have to apply for permits to sell NVIDIA. Bad Apple sales, and then a couple of earnings. Target actually did good. So other than that, we're waiting for the data in a little bit, baby. We're waiting for the data in a little bit, baby. So what do we got, baby? What do we got? I think ARM will go back up. Maybe we got 1 minute and we need 50 likes. Oh my gosh. We are right there, baby. So we'll see too. Again, a couple of plays right off the open. Probably going to be the post earnings. There's just a ton of biotechs. And then Target's up 10, so it's moving a little bit more than priced in. But I do think the Target 2 standard deviations, those will probably end up negative. All right, 30 seconds, Chatadonia. 30 seconds, and there it is. We hit the likes. God bless you. So call out any plays. You have any questions, let me know. And again, within like 15 minutes, you'll get one set of data, but then 30 minutes, that will be the bigger data that we are waiting on. So get ready. Let's have some fun. Good luck, and less than 10 seconds. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Yeah, the puts are down. Round 1. Fight. All righty. Oh, Target off to a great start. Yeah, Baidu is down. We'll see if those end up coming up. KRE. Let's see where the banks end up going. All right, Target. The options aren't open on Target yet. Interestingly, do you guys have Target open? My chain isn't loading up. Who's that other one? FMS. Again, they were related to one of the Novo studies. They're up 9. Again, there's like LVTX and then another biotech, but they have all kind of moved up a little bit. Google. And then NVIDIA is still green. So, again, even though AMD got the bad news, GitLab coming up. GitLab was down a lot, and that one's kind of going green. Target's options not open yet. No, GitLab's still down 18. I thought that one was going to kind of have a bounce there. Ferg play is up. Ferg barely moved, and then Target option chain is now open. Yeah, the Ferg play is still actually up. We already ghetto spreaded. Target's kind of moving a little crazy. Where is Target? Yeah, some of the targets are expensive depending on how far out of the money. I don't know. Target's options are kind of meh. There's cheap ones further out the money, but again, that's still like another $30. I might have to see. We'll see if we get any movement. But if Target does continue from here, those just a little tricky. CCJ's up, but still down a little bit from the other day. Yeah, the Baidus are up 100%. So you got a little bit there. But again, we only have till Friday. CRM Reds, TSM, Intel tanking, GitLab still on the low. Yeah, TSM down 2. And then again, NVIDIA, they just went red right there. There's Target. Palantir Pop, FOXF, Costco dumping. Don't they have earnings tomorrow or today? It's one or the other. Oh, where's SPR? I forgot about that one. Down a little bit. Dollar General on the high. Boeing down. SPY's coming down here too. SMCI starting to sell off. And we're at 51.08. Damn. So you've given up almost 50 points from yesterday. Target coming down a little bit. BABA coming up. Again, there wasn't any like good news out of China. Celsius green. They had an insider sale. OVOV up. Celsius is trying to go green. Baidu down 1.9. Is that Apple on the high? GitLab still going up. All right, GitLab's down 12. And then Target's still holding. Bonds are going really strong. And I sold out of one of them this morning, but that's already 1.5. Again, by the ISM, that's where we're really going to see what's up. All right, this one's kind of expensive, honestly. I feel like I could have done a little better on this one, but if it keeps moving, we'll see. CRM down 1.6. CRM's down 1. I want to see because I still kind of want the double dip on that one. Target's starting to move up a little bit. Celsius running. Again, they were down earlier. Watch AMD, Baba on the high. Couple of things running. Yeah, Celsius is literally killing it. So not a recommendation. You will lose money. I made a trade on GitLab. So I grabbed GitLab next week, $80 call at 48 cents. It gets a little bit more expensive. Now the asset has dropped there. But that's going for one of those. It's either going to rocket up here or it gets sent right back to the gulag. Like I said, it's a little expensive. I was going for like 10-cent plays and I couldn't find them. But then that one stood out because like of how the split between all the other contracts. Oh, damn, those Celsiuses are up a lot. Old eBay calls green. Yeah, they're up to 80% now. Again, we have till the end of next week on those. And then Target's climbing back up. What were those eBays? What calls? 52 calls. Yeah, dude, those Celsiuses are going insane. So hold on. So again, we ghetto spreaded the 95 and we have the 90s. So yeah, we're about to go in the money on those Celsiuses. And then you'll have the extra week for the other ones to expire. Mara going up. Mara is up again. Coin was killing it yesterday. I'm surprised Coin's actually still in the green, but not by that much. And then Target starting to break out and continue. That earnings continuation is working for now. Tesla. What did you miss? Nothing. We made a GitLab call. That's the only play I just made there. It's not doing too hot, but we just made it. And then the only other thing is just news out of AMD, China, Apple, and then even Raphael Bostic, raise and pause, or cut and pause, has people feeling a certain way. Those are all the headlines from the morning. Baidu's still up. NVO, there was like a flow trial, I believe is what it's called. Again, there's a couple of companies that went up as sympathy. Well, that's about it. Yeah, Target's running now, so it's actually waking up. We'll go back to those contracts. Some of the out the money contracts, though, still didn't go up too much. The ones near the money did good. It's about like 200%. There goes Coin again. Coin is on the high. Yeah, bro. Coin is nuts. SoFi. Oh, they had it. SoFi did an offering, I believe. SoFi had like notes or bonds that they offered today. Something like that. I think that's why they're down 8%. Coin is starting to go up. That one just woke up. Again, AMD too. They had a little candle earlier. Apple still struggling, down to 170. Again, the divergence between Apple and the NASDAQ is like absolutely massive. You got GitLab for 25. Oh, that's a steal. Oh yeah, I guess it just dropped $2. Yeah, 10-year. 10-year's going the other way right now, but for the most part, bonds are looking decent. And then SPR is starting to climb. BIAF halted on SQQ. Could be decent for a trade there, but again, I mean, you're just fighting against the golden path. So realistically, I mean, SQQ, there will be opportunities to play it as we get into Fed Powell. So again, even a day like today, we'll see where it ends up. And then AVAV, we should have played for earnings. I told you I was liking that one, but we got to see where everything ends up playing out here over the next couple of days. And then again, how people react to even a day like today. You know, today's a little bit of a hiccup. Let's see if it actually holds up, or do we, by the end of the day, kind of just play out how we have been with the awkward hit a high, sell off, and then stay at the same place. Yeah, we're already down to 500 almost, or 5,100. So, I mean, you gave up almost 50 points between yesterday and today. Bro, Coinbase 234. AMD's on the high now. Mara's starting to go up. Mara's back at 26. Yeah, defense contractors did good. Again, that AVAV, we talked about that one pre-earnings. But that one actually moved. NVIDIA's on the high now. Wall. Interestingly, I guess XLF is in the green. Banks. Remember yesterday, even with NYCB, they were all up. NYCB is even up 9% today. Amazon lifting a little bit. Again, I think like major tech, NVIDIA is the one in the green right now that's holding us up. Even SMCI is down 2.5. ARM fell to 134. SPR. Bond's still coming down a little. Where's the dollar? Hershey's on the high. Dollar's up. Abavai. Well, Altria, why you do this, Habibi? Global PMIs in 4 minutes. Yes, and then the big ones are going to be in 20. OPTV. Haven't we seen that before? I thought Optiv. I guess that's not a stock. Data leak. Not for now. Again, if anything, we're still in the same setup. I mean, we've been selling from the morning. The only difference between now and the morning is that the bonds are like kind of coming down, but we'll see again after that data here. But again, even it's not like today's data is data that gets leaked and then like makes everybody go crazy and freaks everybody out. I mean, it is important, but I wouldn't say it's that important. Rotation. Well, Russell's down as much as the SPY. We'll see. Maybe by the end of the day, just if anybody, kind of takes off and does their own thing. PayPal's up 1%. Coin's still going through the high. Again, Mara is now following along this time around. Coinbase, 52-week high intraday. Yeah, eBay contracts are up 100% from the earnings. ARKB. High ticker's still gassing. That's the crazy part. I don't know if you guys see this, bro. High ticker is like actually gassing this whole time. And then where's that NCLH contract? That one's 18 cents. This one's 500%. I think I'm going to sell it. Get back $1.93. We bought it for 18. Yeah, I sold out at 93. I'm out of the NCLH. Remember, that was from a week or two ago. Has a little bit of time, but I just didn't want to forget about it. Yeah, oil is creeping up. I think oil, it's been hugging near this 80 very, very big. I'm surprised we haven't had an issue yet. It's still below it. But actually, I think like 78.30 I'd be down to double dip. I have been a little intimidated by it, though. Yeah, SoFi, SoFi just has bad news for the day. Coin getting a candle up to the high again. Yeah, GitLab, I think that one might have been a dud. IWM's on the high now, so Russell's starting to go. Bond's trying to catch a bid here at the low. 15 seconds. You're going to get global PMI data. It shouldn't move us too much. Again, the one at 10 a.m. ISM services, that's the big one we're looking for. So, composite global PMIs, 52.3 versus estimate of 51.4. And then final 52.5 versus 51.4. So Global services and composite both came in slightly higher than expected. So bonds already a little lower off of that too. Target is about to climb and hit another high up 12.4. So they're starting to get a little juicy. AI on the low. AI's flushing down 5. Coinbase even took a down candle on that one. Well, again, this data is like important, but then again, I think ISM services, that's going to be the one with a lot of juice. So whatever reaction we get for now, just wait. I mean, you got 15 more minutes. Target hitting a high. Yeah, Target about to go to 170. $93. Oh, I meant 0.93, 500%. Yeah, services PMI a little hotter. Bitcoin at 68,650, $400 from all-time highs. Let's see. I'm logging into the rave. I want to see how it looks on Coinbase. Yeah. 68,000. Yeah, Bitcoin just ran up. Yeah, bro, Ethereum Classic at 3840. My goodness. Bro, even Ethereum at 3780. Snow keeps selling. DFS on the high. NVIDIA got some candles down. Even coins coming down. Target's still holding up great. CCG starting to climb finally. And then SPR is still up. Oil is about to go green. If oil takes another dip today, I'm down to play it. I feel like I already missed it. Netflix clapped, crowd dying. Doesn't crowd have earnings? And then again, 12 minutes, that bigger data will be there. You're averaging on Baidu since under 100. And we'll see. I'm going to get rid of that put first and then see what I'm going to do with it. But I've already made 3 averages. I might just end up holding. And then the put's up 139. Oh, we only have till this week. Elf on the low. Crowd pricing in 38. That's a lot. And then bonds starting to move up a little bit. City's on the high again. Banks are already running up. City's up 1.5. So your Baidu's for the 15th. Mine's only for this week. No. They're up 150 though. They're holding pretty decent for now. Boeing pop. Watch SPR too. That one's holding up. I'm still in those. Still deciding if we want to keep pushing or not. Damn, Toyota's at 250, 249. Then Tesla's starting to come back up, but down 2.2. Again, coin. JP Morgan, 52-week high. My goodness. Even Abivi's starting to climb. Airbnb down. Altria is a little higher than where we got it yesterday. What was the other one? Pfizer. SPR is starting to rocket up a little bit now. SPR is not loading, but it's up. SPR just jumped up 34.87. And then VIX on the low, or VIX on the high as we go into the low here. And then watch if coin. No, JPM's doing very good. Pay the plug, spy push bank, baby. God bless you, Smasher. Good morning. Very good. If you had those and you woke up to them again, it's been a while. since we've woken up with like this much downside that didn't get reversed in a second. So very, very good, man. Very, very good, you know. ABY. JP Morgan. Bro, and Coinbase is unreal. Target 170. Yeah, that's crazy. So watch if any of those cheap contracts start catching a bid on there. Because again, the further out the monies are moving super slow on Target. Video to the moon. We got 10 minutes till data. Can I go to the bathroom? I need to go pee. I had a lot of water. I'm waiting for oil. If we get another negative drop on oil, that'll be a good one to go for. But I will be right back. Follow me on Instagram at The Trading Fraternity. I love you. Good morning, good evening, good night, and I will see you in a little bit.
1 month's results in China, especially the month of February, the fact that you do have the Lunar New Year having an effect on the month. That being said, this was a pretty bleak result, and I do think that there is a sort of overarching theme that we've been seeing for weeks and months of EV slowdown that's given people real pause, some sort of unintended consequences of the effect of really slashing prices at Tesla and the effect that that's had on resale values. I think much as there's a lot to be said for the promise of Tesla, whether you want to look at it as an AI company, the fact that it brings a lot to the table outside of cars potentially in terms of battery player and energy storage, and a lot of buzz around the Megapack product, self-driving development that Musk has talked a lot about it being the sort of long-term driver for Tesla. I think the market was much more willing to entertain those things in a zero interest rate environment because Musk himself will like to talk about the idea that we make the impossible merely late. That he's been able to accomplish an awful lot with this company, but it tends to take him more time than he says he needs. I think the fact that Tesla has had so much of an issue with delivering on a lot of his promises leads to this sort of bang on the head when you do see some operational issues like we've seen in China and like we've seen just in the last few weeks in terms of disruption to their production even here in Europe, in Germany, which we're seeing again today.
Or is it that, as we mere mortals lack the imagination to comprehend flying taxis on Madison Avenue? Get the shopping done. Ed, thank you very much. I'll leave you with that thought on the West Coast. Craig Trudell in London. A little bit of breaking economic news coming across the Bloomberg terminal. Abigail Doolittle joins me with that. Abby, what have we got?
Indeed, we do have some of the final PMI, U.S. PMI data for the month of February coming in better than expected. For the S&P Global U.S. Services PMI, the actual was 52.3 versus the survey of 51.3, a little bit better than the prior. And for the composite, 52.5, also coming in better. This, of course, is in expansionary territory. Below 50 would be contraction. And we have the ISM services coming up today at 10 a.m. The estimate there is for 53, maybe setting up for those larger companies a little bit of strength there as well. Relative to sectors, Manus, we are looking at a 0.5% decline for the S&P 500, and it's that heavy tech weight, consumer discretionary and services indexes. Those are really weighing today on the S&P 500.
They are indeed, and tech is dragging us all into the market moving events for your day. We'll set up your trading diary.
Set up your trading diary. I just saw ACMR on the low. And then SPY going lower, 5 more minutes till the big data. That'll be what moves us. Yeah, Mara, I think it's just going up with the crypto names. But again, Coinbase, they're staying chill. But is Bitcoin hitting a high? I'm watching all these go crazy. I got to log back into the rave. Ethereum up. Let's see. Bitcoin 68,700. This is how it looks on the rave screen. It's beautiful. 68,850. So Bitcoin's running up with all of this. Real on the high. So again, every single one of these ETFs hitting 52-week highs, probably Bitcoin. Oh, Marcus Hanlon, baby. Show us some love. Oh, my goodness. Hard. God bless you, bro. Thank you. Mr. Musical Mind Frame. I want to hear that song again. Might have to throw that on in the background while we trade, baby. Way to bless the Chad. About to hit 69,000. That's crazy. Bitcoin is about to hit another all-time high, ladies and gentlemen. It is right there. It is right there. My goodness. I got 2 Coinbases up. I think it's appropriate. Target, oh, they hit 170, came down. GitLab, no dice for yet. AVAV, I'm bad I didn't play that one. Yesterday I saw a guy I went to high school with post about crypto on Facebook. It's starting again. You're getting closer. But it don't, I'm telling you, man, just I at this point though, there's way less people talking, and it makes sense. I mean, you got to think about it. Imagine all the people who are like crypto hard on, and then they sold out after it, like, because it got fucked up. I was looking at the charts yesterday, and I was like, damn, some of these altcoins, they came back, but I was like, damn, they also got murdered. So it's just like you have people who they were in it, and they probably, now it's coming back up. They sold out, and then vice versa. You don't have everybody at home. You don't have the same, like, crazy pumping on it. But this time around, I mean, Bitcoin has gotten this high with a lot less hype and more so just movements. It's kind of nuts to think about. We're at 5,100. Yeah, 5,100 flat. So, honestly, ever since we got above here, we went below it like once, but like 5,000 is the real test. Ironically, even though we were just near 5,200. And then again, 3 minutes here till data. I saw a guy I grew up with said he had 6.5 million Doge. I said, no, you don't. That's 800,000. He said, oh, yeah, that's SHIB. Same thing. XLM. XLM went up, though. Again, XLM back at 15 cents. Ethereum Classic at 38. And then there's one more I saw. Which one was it? Ethereum at 3,800. Oh, there was one more token. Oh, Shiba. Yeah, that's the one. Dude, Shiba is up like 300. That's why you guys kept asking. I haven't really been keeping up with it. But you guys were asking if I was up on it, and I was like, why does like everyone keep asking me? Dude, Shiba went up 300% in 7 days. So, again, granted, it started off low, but like I think we are a lot higher. Yeah, we're definitely up on our Shiba. I mean, it's even up 51% after 100% yesterday. Yeah, I thought it was just like moving up in tandem with everything else, but kind of makes sense why everybody keeps bringing it up. Intel at 43. GitLab staying pinned. Marvel on the high. So that's interesting. Most chip makers except NVIDIA are down. I'm up 490. I think my prices are like, because pretty much it transferred prices when they moved me from the Coinbase Pro, but it says I'm up. I assume I am. I'll go find my original purchase, but for now, I mean, I think it's pretty hard not to be up on it unless you really bought into the crazy highs on it. If Shiba goes to $1, it'll be bigger than the SPY. Yeah, that's insane. Baba's on the high. Interesting. Baba just went green. Baidu. The eBays came down for a little bit. All right, data in 30 seconds. Get ready. So, again, the number you're looking for is 52.9. Higher is bad, lower is good. You're also going to get factory orders as well. Damn, Baidu, big can again. Baba, China names just woke up. PMI's 52.6, slightly lower. Slightly lower. Oh, and then oil's coming up. All right, I did 2 MCL. I said I wanted oil, but I'm hesitant. I'm going with the small one. I grabbed 2 MCLs. I may want to look for a bond play. Again, I don't think that data was that good, but the fact that it came in lower and bonds already had a bid, bam, bonds are rocketing. They're back up to pre-market highs, a little higher. And then I got 2 oils at 78.65. Gold pumping 2. I want another bond play, but I got out of those. Those would have been fire. But I'm going with oil again. I said I don't want to rush that one. I don't want to top ticket with a big one, but oil is getting tempting. It's running off that. A couple names going lower. Again, China just woke up on that. Bonds got an even bigger bid. SPY got a big candle. GLD going absolutely insane, dude. I don't even know how to comprehend that. Again, with the dollar, there's a lot going on there. 6J running, again, probably getting a bid off the bonds. So we're getting some activity there. Bonds still going up. Even oil got a pop. Yeah, bro. GLD, the market, they're all going up now. What is it, 4.1? Check out Nugget. Oh, yeah. Dude, I saw that the other day. I forgot. We do have Nugget in the random account that expires in June. I was looking at the long term, and I saw that in there. And then banks are going up higher again. SPY, so far, weaker service data. It was good news. Just slightly, it was slightly weaker. I think it is in contraction, though. Not really. Honestly, very mediocre data, but again, just in the setup. Markets, I don't know if the markets will go green off of it, but bonds are going to keep loving that throughout the day. Nugget is like a VIX for gold, pretty much. It's like a multiple levered ETF. Bitcoin going up. Again, hitting more on those ETFs. Coin breaking out new high. Durable goods also -6. -6.2 versus 6.1. Target catching another candle. Again, coin was moving up there. And Mara. MSTR is down. They did a sale of some sort, though, today. OCEA has been going up every single day. I have no idea what they do. GitLab staying pinned. Again, SPY near the high. First 3 minutes, bonds and SPY. Good off of this slightly weaker data. 69,000 on Bitcoin. 69,020. So Bitcoin is like what, $300, $400 from an all-time high? It's not there yet, but it's about to. March 5th. Gold popping, Bitcoin popping. Seems like people are looking where to store value because confidence in the banking system is failing. In a weird way, I agree with you, but it's like maybe that's too premature of a thought, but at the same time, like, it is coming up. People are bringing this up. I mean, it keeps happening where now dollar, every asset is higher. So it is like, it's a fair assumption. I think that's a great way to put it. It's hard to say if that's exactly where we're at right now, but like I'm saying, I mean, the dollar is really strong. Gold is now hitting all-time highs. So is Bitcoin. I mean, where Bitcoin's about to hit an all-time high right now, 69,300. I think it just clipped it. Let me see where the Bitcoin view. I'm looking at the Coinbase. Oh yeah, Bitcoin futures have already done it. Bitcoin futures are already there. So Bitcoin futures are at 70,000. Spot Bitcoin hit 69,300. Yeah, I think you hit it. Wow. Bitcoin, baby. A new era of crypto. Another high. Who would have thought just a couple years ago? gold has 2 reasons to get clapped. Well, gold, that's the thing. Even if gold gets clapped, it's just going to go back to the level it was at before. You realize how crazy that is? All right, I sold out of SPR. Remember I flipped those the other day off the buyout? I got $1,100 off that. There's the flip for now. SPY's already coming back, and bonds too. Oh, my goodness. Oil, I'm still up on that, but that came down a little bit. Well, Bitcoin, I mean, it just hit an all-time. Damn, Bitcoin just dropped $2,000 off that, like, spot Bitcoin. But either way, I mean, you're probably going to hear about the Bitcoin stuff a little more now. You just hit an all-time high. That's it. Bitcoin has never been. That's crazy, bro. 69,000 for one Bitcoin is huge. Again, even 3,800 for an Ethereum. That's massive. So you're doing it. You're now probably going to hear more people talking about this over the next coming weeks. Yeah, I think 99% of Bitcoin holders are profitable right now. If you think about it, that's insane. Len on the high, Lennar. Why are they running up? 1.2. And then again, just got out of SPR. That was a good one. Bitcoin pullbacks in April. I mean, Uncle might tell you July. That's more than half by July. But I think we'll see around May to July. That'll be an interesting time. Other than that, though, it'll just probably follow along with the market and Powell. But it will be interesting to see, you know, what the Fed does and how Bitcoin even responds to monetary policy. The data was slightly bullish. It came in slightly a little bit worse, which was what we wanted to see, but not anything like huge. And then I think the bonds already had a bid. It added to that, and then the markets bounced. But like I said, I think if anything, bonds hold up today. I don't know if that'll take the market green. Nasdaq still has 1% to go, but I don't know if the data was that telling or that moving. Oil's coming down now. I like VKTX. I mean, we were trading that in the, $20 or lower. But at this point, I think it's pretty high up there. You're taking a lot of risk. It's up to you at that point. So Bitcoin had that little drop and pop, trying to come back up again. Bear strong today. Big data, no move. Well, it wasn't that big, and then even then, there's like 3 different things. Again, you got the politics of today, then you had the Apple stuff, and then you had even the Bostix thing in the morning. So you kind of you got hit with a lot of things all at once. But then, granted, we're still elevated. I mean, now I do think we are dropping below 5,100, or we're about to. Yeah, so we're just at 5,115. That's big amount of movement in a short amount of time, but see how we play out here. But generally speaking, I mean, we're still pretty up there. SBF is going to say everybody was made whole and should be released from prison. So I'll give you, I already gave you this one before, but I'll give you some food for thought. Are you ready? Just imagine if Sam Bankman never got caught. What would be going on right now? Imagine Bitcoin hits another record high a few years later, and if Sam and you thought, and then he, come to find out Sam Bankman buys the Phoenix Suns, he would have been the owner of the Suns by now. You know what I'm saying? Joe Biden would have been leading the polls by 50 points. I don't know. They're like, I don't know how he's doing it. He got a donation of $80 trillion from Bitcoin. FTP token would be at 1,000. Oh, man. Margaritaville would be the #1 hotel in the country. They're like, we can't explain it. It's one of the best resorts ever. Just everybody is. Tesla got a little bit of a flush. Again, a lot of things dropped there. Bonds are even coming down. And oil. So oil just flushed on that too. Microsoft's down 2.2. NVIDIA is on the cusp of going red. AMD's still red. AMD's not bad considering the news. Somehow AMAT still holding. 3M from the dead. Cybersecurity down. Spotify. Some names are barely down. Let's get a checkup here. It is 10:11. So right now, S&P 500, 235 names in the red, 266 in the green. Dow Jones, 18 in the red, 12 in the green. And NASDAQ 100, 79 red, 21 in the green. So it's not one of those rotation days. Everything's down. I mean, SPY and Dow are kind of 50-50, but more names red. And then the NASDAQ, that's the one down the most out of any of them. Google. Oh, I don't know. I was liking Google yesterday. Remember we were talking about that little sell-off and bounce play. Oof. Google is very expensive, you know? He moved a lot. Yeah, JP Morgan just keeps saying 52-week highs. They are crazy, my friend. SPY slowly working into the lows right now, too. You think Bitcoin will reach gold market cap? Isn't gold like 4 trillion or something? I don't know the market cap of gold right now. Right now, Bitcoin's at 1.35 trillion. Oh, 14 trillion. I mean, who knows at this point? That's the thing. I mean, once we hit all-time highs, I mean, I'm not the guy to ask. That's why it'll sound like that one dude on Bloomberg when he said my price target's 250,000 to 1 million. Once you break out of all-time highs like this on something like Bitcoin Limited, I mean, who knows? But that would be like what? Bitcoin would have to go up 7 times. So I guess gold market would be 700,000 or something like that. I don't know. 70, would it be? Or like 490,000? So I have no idea. But you never know at this point. Even some people are saying, well, this sheep can't do this. This can't. I mean, everyone is just, now we're in no man's land until the music or the policy stops. Yeah, El Salvador, right? He must be killing it. I feel like they don't give him enough credit. Honestly, that he might have just proved the model. The first government that like adopted Bitcoin. I mean, he has to be killing it. Baba's on the high now. Very interesting. And then Baidu, they shook off like 1%. He did average down. He averaged down in like the 20s, I think, or like the low 30s. He is so smart. Dude, honest, dude, it's crazy. If you really think about it, El Salvador, if they're making money, this dude's making big government money off of damn Bitcoin. That's insane. He almost got murdered at 15,000. He said, trust in the process. Trust in the process. So there's a tracker. So here's the website. You could track all of his purchases. So he bought really high, but then he did buy some here at the bottom. And now he's up $73 million based on this website. Not bad. He made his country $73 million. Jake from State Farm, baby. There you go. We got the Jake from State Farm tracker in the house. Good morning. How you living, baby? Happy Tuesday. Hey, man. What percentage is that of GDP? For, what is it, El Salvador? I have no idea. El Salvador GDP. 2.87 billion. So, honestly, it's a drop in the bucket. It's not even like, it's like maybe 1%, maybe a little less, maybe 0.1%. Michael Saylor. I don't know if there's a tracker on his, but I do think he has over $10 billion of Bitcoin. Again, even MSTR today, they're down because he said they're selling something to go buy more Bitcoin. So they did some sort of money raising there. PayPal coming down. SPY just hit a new low. Google flushing a little bit. Amazon, Tesla, Apple. Apple's actually not hitting a new low, but Google was. His tracker is called MSTR. CEG on the high. Constellation Energy. Oh, what was there's another energy company tomorrow. SPY hitting a new low. Yeah, GitLab, I think that play is going to be a dud. Other news, you got big news. You got Jerome Powell tomorrow and Thursday. You got job openings tomorrow, then non-farm payrolls on Friday. You actually got quite the big week ahead of you. SPR came down. Tesla keeps selling off, new low. Low ticker getting pretty active, and VIX is actually up here. NASDAQ down 1.5. We have now sold 5,100. So you've given up 5,100. I mean, last time you were below 5,100 a couple days ago. And then February 23rd when we broke above it. So we'll see. Realistically, though, 5,000. That's the break I want to see. Because otherwise, you're still kind of above the NVIDIA earnings. And then oil came down. NQ below 18,000. Verizon on the high. Interesting. T-Mobile, Disney somehow in the green. NYCB, T-Mobile's ripping. So still, again, there's still a couple of names going up. The balance isn't that bad. NASDAQ, that's the one that's selling off the most. SMCI flushed. Down 9. I mean, they were just... weren't they up like $200 yesterday? Walmart's doing good. Again, Target, they're just chilling there for earnings. Crypto plays kind of holding up. It just depends. Mara gave up, actually. Mara's getting murked. Coinbase is the one with the strength. Where's DraftKings? DraftKings sold off down 4 from yesterday. NYCB had a great day today. They're up 9%, up at the high at 3. Again, big banks are doing good. SPY hitting another low. Again, we have just broken below 5,100. But 5,000 is the break I'd be looking for. Still a lot of cushion in the market. WEC, PEG, Lint, are these all energy companies? I feel like there's a lot of energy and utility names on the high. It's hard to tell. And then there's oil. Utility and energy safety plays. I see a lot of them on the high. Otherwise, nothing else. Low ticker picking up. I'm looking at oil. Oil's just down, but still kind of elevated, but down 0.5% on the day. Yeah, Ultra got up a little bit. You guys know, I didn't realize it till yesterday. TD Ameritrade doesn't show it, but my Fidelity does. Ultra's ex-dividend is March 22nd. So they also have that right around the corner. Oh, there. Now it shows on TD. Good to hear you. Maximo. How you living, baby? Good morning. McDonald's on the high. Again, Target. There is a lot of value defensive plays holding up. JP Morgan up 1%, BB. Again, SPY a little bit off the bottom. And then oil going down another 0.25%. So oil flushing a little bit more, which is interesting considering a lot of oil and energy names are on the high. Macy's on the high again. They got a raised buyout offer yesterday. Baba bounced after being red. Baidu is still in the red. MO's climbing up here now above 40. Shout out to members. Sell them, John. Oh, Googly. I like Google, man. I really do. Because I was saying, wait for that like $10, $12 drop there. Shout out to Larkers. Long time better than the short time. Yeah, 3M was bouncing today. Are you high or is the PMI good? It was good for the market because it came in lower. So it came in slightly lower. It's still a number we've kind of gotten in line. But, quite frankly, we have been surprised by hot data lately. So I think that one not being hot, I think that was a good thing. Macy's still going up. GIS, T-Mobile as well, even Altria. Yeah, General Mills on the high. T-Mobile. Again, T-Mobile kind of getting some bigger candles. 3M. So, again, just different sets of plays moving. I guess Abivai's up at 179 also. SPY's coming down, though, again. NASDAQ now down 1.5. SPY down 0.7. Dow Jones down 0.3. And the Russell down by 0.62. I mean, Disney's doing good, man. Can't complain. Oh, what was that? ISM activity slowed in February. What is it? SPY down, Walmart up. Walmart also benefiting a little bit off of Target earnings. Don't forget about that. And then 50.89, new low. I mean, last time You hit this price, you are now lower than last Friday. You're pretty much lower than Friday. You're back to like Thursday levels. So literally just last Thursday, which is pretty much, this is like the high point day after NVIDIA earnings 2 weeks ago. So you're at the high point of the day after NVIDIA, to keep it simple for you. What is happening? I thought you said it was bullish. On what part? Today for the data, I said it'll be bullish for the bonds, but I said I don't know about the market going green off of it. But in general, I mean, this is, even if you're looking at the market beyond just today, I mean, it's doing exactly what we've done every other day. Kind of hit a high, sell off, give up half of it, and then the data comes in, and then we pop up. So if anything, I think we're going to meander into a level, and then we have data tomorrow morning, then Jerome Powell, and then the big data on Friday. So, I mean, whatever move we make here, up or down, I would doubt that it's permanent. Bitcoin topped out the market. I mean, maybe. Again, I thought you were gonna have more of a sell reaction off the ETF, and you didn't. I mean, at this point, I don't know. I feel like Bitcoin, until Bitcoin just gets overly hyped, but as long as everybody is not like going too crackhead about it, we'll see. But it's definitely, I mean, it's a wind in the market that you could feel. I think Ross earnings, didn't TJX, they did good. I don't know if the TJX plays hit, but I think they ended up doing good. Again, 3M, $93. They keep ripping. Disney coming down. Again, T-Mobile as well. That's one of those rippers there. But Bitcoin did drop. Bitcoin now near 67,000. MO40. Yeah, I want to see Disney holding up too. That'd be nice. Sad Airbnb's trying to move out of his home at 160. Macy's still climbing too. Bristol Myers, Facebook. The actual app just crashed. Man, y'all still on Facebook? Y'all on Marketplace? Y'all buying illegal goods? What are y'all doing on Facebook? Talking to your grandma? Buying stolen goods? Facebook's a weird place. I haven't been on Facebook in a minute. What about WhatsApp and Instagram? It crashed. NEE on the high. 3M again? I don't know. It's getting kind of big. Biddy, BHVN. Isn't that biotech? Biohaven? Or are they getting bought out? GPN on the high too. And then there's Abivi. Check XLV. XLV's down. I feel like I see a lot of medical plays going up. Even Pfizer's starting to climb a little bit. And then NVIDIA flushing now. Mara on the low. Watch the Coinbase or crypto plays. Coin even coming down a little bit. Yeah, Mara, Meta, or Mara and Coinbase. Tesla, no love. T-Mobile, a lot of love. They're killing it. Apple's hitting lows. Remember now, so Tesla's printing on the low ticker, but I think Apple's a little more fascinating. You guys realize, again, they had bad news the last couple of days. More bad news this morning, going lower. 50.89. Are we about to hit a new low? Yeah, SPY's 1 point away, but let me show you guys this. This is the chart people are talking about right now. Y'all ready for this? Bow now, down, 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 now, down, 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 everybody, Apple. All right, sorry, I'm having too much fun. But this right here, the divergence between the NASDAQ and Apple. It's like getting kind of wild. You haven't had too many divergences like this. Again, I guess it kind of has since here. But you can see how they've kind of matched up at other times and gotten a little bit closer. But pretty much NASDAQ is getting, or Apple is getting murked. NASDAQ is going higher. Apple was leading the NASDAQ most of the time. So that is a unique one. But then again, I'd keep your eyes out on that as we start going lower. Because all I see is Tesla on the low ticker. But then Apple, bad news, still going lower. You just hit a new low there by half a point. Apple just starts to look like the bonds and the dollar. They just add that to the list of things diverging from the SPY or the NASDAQ. that's why it's kind of nuts. So just like now Apple, you just throw Apple on the list as of another thing that has a pretty stark divergence from the way things have been running now or moving. Instagram is also malfunctioning. Yeah, NVIDIA started flushing out of nowhere. Again, NVIDIA was green for like half the day here to start off. I mean, it is still early. We have only been here for about an hour and 2 minutes. Volume 13 million, kind of active. Again, we did have ISM data and global PMIs. Reddit servers are having issues. I think Meta is going down. Problems with Facebook and Instagram, it's starting to look like. I think Google is diverging with the NASDAQ as well, too. Again, but then some of them have moved. So, like, Amazon's outperforming, NVIDIA, SMCI, and a couple of others are helping things out. Shout out the lurkers, baby. It's all about the lurkers, baby. Boeing holding up. Baba, we sold out of SPR. They came down a little bit. BYSI. What was the other one? FMR? Or is it FMI? There were some biotech runners in the morning. I think Facebook is down. So people were saying. FMS. Oh, that one kept going, but it was up 12 pre-market. BYD on the high. Microsoft starting to flush now. You're down 1.7 on the NASDAQ. So you're down almost 2% on the NASDAQ today. It's a pretty big day. This is all within the first hour. So we can move a lot more. But, like, literally at this moment, NASDAQ is down almost 2%. Damn, I'm down. I'd be like $60. I'm down on my oil play. BYSI, NVIDIA. This one looks like one from the morning, but it hasn't gotten any volume lately. MO's going good. So, again, I mean, hey, I don't know if today will be the day where we see it, but, I mean, you're getting NASDAQ down, value names going up. This is a day we have long awaited, but I don't know how much longer it'll last. So we'll see. And then bonds staying pinned. Is anybody's Instagram down too? Chad, check up here. You guys could go check. I'll go to the bathroom. You could go try to follow me on Instagram if it works. And there you go. If not, then there you go. You want Ethereum exposure? Your IG's down? Well, follow me on Instagram at the Trading Fraternity. If you could follow me, it's not down. Yours is down? Oh, wow. Everybody, damn. Everybody's like, it's down. It's down. All right. Well, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Follow me on Instagram at the Trading Fraternity. I will BRB.
And
a stabilization of this business
And I'll
that's
see you in a little
otherwise seemingly headed in a pretty scary direction.
And what info do you still need from Macy's when it comes to your due diligence that you're doing on this company, that you're doing in potentially raising another bid if they do reject this one? What do you still need from Macy's?
Really confirmatory diligence. It's not complicated, but it's a lot of work.
And you've also, of course, as part of this, nominated 9 people to Macy's board. How confident are you that you actually have the votes there to do that?
So, you know, the 9 director nomination is really a function of the board size. There are 14 directors, so to ensure that we are speaking to shareholders directly, and really to ensure that shareholders can exercise their desires, their wants, and see to an effectuated change, we need to nominate 9. So, yeah.
And how is that communication with shareholders happening? Is that you reaching out proactively to shareholders? Are you seeing inbound requests? What's the mix there?
I would say it's a combination. We've not formally submitted any proxy materials, and we're not soliciting votes at this time, but we have received inbounds from shareholders, you know, on an unsolicited basis, and are very happy to speak with anyone. We are a significant shareholder in this company and have very strong views about it.
And let's talk a little bit more about financing here, because that has been one of the questions. Of course, how would you pay for this? And you have also said that you've identified large global institutional financing sources that represent 100% of the capital required to buy the shares in Macy's that we do not already own. Can you give us some detail about who those large global institutional financing sources could be?
Yeah, so they are, like you said, large global money center banks. And the company shouldn't be surprised that there's so much interest in participating in this capitalization.
Big
they have
drop,
a really
3%
great asset
down,
base.
one candle.
And you know, hearing
T-Mobile
some of their
high.
responses that it's a tough capital markets environment, it's a tough financing environment, all of that's true. And notwithstanding that, there is robust interest in participating in this privatization.
All right, Gabriel, it's going to be really interesting to watch this one play out. Hope to continue this conversation soon. That, of course, is Gabriel Kahana, the CEO of ArcHouse. And now let's get a quick check on these equity markets. Of course, we're over an hour into the U.S. trading day. We're going to do that with Bloomberg's Abigail Doolittle.
Well, we are looking at some bearish action for markets today, Katie. But before we take a look at what's happening for markets more broadly, let's start out with a bright spot. It's not exactly Macy's, but it is Target. Shares are surging on the day, up more than 10%, heading to the best day of the year. And this, of course, after they beat adjusted earnings by 27%, putting up nearly $3 in adjusted earnings on better gross margins. As inventories have gotten a little bit under control. So investors really liking that for the shares of Target. As for the bearish market outlook, let's take a look at the S&P 500 down 0.9%. Overall, we are looking at session lows. You can see the NASDAQ 100 underperforming, down for a second day in a row, down 1.8.
Underperforming. Vanny, I think Vanny, I'm going to make the last or the bigger final dip on it. I think right around Powell. So let's see what right around like Thursday. Let's get through Powell and then the non-farms, and then pretty much if non-farms gives you one of those crazy melt-ups, we're going to get the all-in rally. Otherwise, we wait a little bit. Because right now, I mean, biotechs are still getting love, though, but I'm still watching it. Gold is insane. Yes, that's absolutely. Again, GXO, I think they got halted. MO's going up, so I'm glad we actually made our purchase on that. Again, they have ex-dividend March 22nd. So I think that's starting to slip in there because it didn't show up on there till yesterday. Zion going up. You can't hear me? You should be able to hear me. Target, they're still holding up. And then SPY still going lower. My goodness. So SPY 50.84.22. That's the new low of the day. Baba came back down. I hope that's why I said let's not get too excited, but remember I told you there will be a day where all of the boring stocks go up and then all the crazy runners go down, but you're seeing that here today, but let's see if that actually ideally continues along the way, or again things balance out, all the value names start to get a bid, and then the growth calms down, but it's still way too early to tell. And then meanwhile, I mean, Bitcoin had just hit a new all-time high, and you still have other risk sentiment. So it's like, people are still in risk-on mode, believe it or not. I think Meta is just having technological issues right now. So is their stock still? My stock's not loading. But their Facebook and Instagram are down right now. Yeah, nobody followed me on Instagram. It says cannot load activity. Lizzie, show love. Good morning. The MO is just, not just for the long term. I didn't know they had ex-dividend coming up, so we got great timing on it, but I just wanted it. I thought it was time. And again, I'm glad I got to increase the divvies. They're cutting off communications. I feel you, but how did you communicate that to me? You know what I'm saying? That seems like a paradox within the matrix. Why is my meta just not loading at all? Okta on the low. Again, you just had one of those halts. T-Mobile, man, all day. Or at least the last hour, it's been going crazy. Your Instagram is fine. Well, you should use this time to follow me then at the Trading Fraternity. My Instagram won't work. Banks are going nuts. They really are. Again, at 189.20 on JP Morgan. Again, I think Wells Fargo, Bank of America, they were hitting all-time highs too, or 52-week highs near it. XLU on the high, they're going up. Tesla's still at the low, and again, Apple, they didn't have good news. They've been hitting lows. 5 minutes ago, SPY just hit a new low, 50.84. So remember, this is back to NVIDIA. Remember, we were down a little bit. NVIDIA reported. We gapped up, then had that crazy Thursday, and then Friday hit a new high, then sold off. You're right around those post-NVIDIA levels. Weight Watchers going up. I forgot we still have those. I'm down $300-400 on those from the earnings. Speaking of earnings, and then Zscaler, bro, that one hasn't had a bounce. So again, 3 days later, all this thing did was go lower. And AVAV would have been a good earnings hit. What's up with Facebook? No idea. Facebook is down. Instagram is down. The stock, my Meta stock won't load. Maybe I have to try it on Thinkorswim. Yeah, Meta's down 195 going lower. But other than that, I don't have any news. And then bonds are holding up from the data. Bonds are still holding that bid. This is near the high they were at in the morning. Is Target going to 170? It might. I want to wait there. Honestly, though, the longer it does nothing, the better. Because this is just killing premium. I haven't got in then, but I don't mean to curse you if you're already sitting in them. But I'm just kind of hoping that Target premium comes down so we can make a play. And then oil rocketed right back up. So oil came on this whole little thing. Remember, oil popped and then came back down. SPY popped, came back down. Bonds popped in the middle. Oil's back up, and then bonds are right in the middle, and then SPY's lagging behind. Uber on the low. Uber kind of flushing 78. The Uber's at 81. Uber moves $5 a day now. I cursed you. My bad. I didn't mean to. Definitely not the intention. Because I'm cool not getting a target play. So best of luck to you, my brother. Microsoft on the low, down 2.83. NEE, that's going up. Again, I'm sure T-Mobile. And again, a couple of those value plays. T-Mobile's high. Disney break even. GitLab, nah. I spent too much money. I should have went with the 10-cent ones. We'll just wait because, again, just like Zscaler, if you don't get that earnings bounce, it's going to kind of fall into the gulag. So, positioning and timing are of the essence. I like Target, but I think Target's moved a little too much to add to the long term. I would just FOMO Walmart. What? No. Would it be good to get MO calls because of XDivvy? If it keeps going up, ideally yesterday would have been the best time to get it now that it's up 1, but it just depends where it closes. But there's still a lot of time till ex-dividend. I mean, it's only March, 5th right now? So maybe you could give it like another week before zoning in on the ex-divvy place. It might move all over. Down detector, global outage of Facebook and Instagram. Over 300,000 Facebook outages. Over 47,000 outages reported for Instagram. And then Bitcoin. Where's that at? Bitcoin's still 67,200. I'm looking at target calls. So I think the upside, because again, they did good. They did not do bad on that earnings. Cyber attack. I mean, wasn't it? I don't know if they said it was a cyber attack, but wasn't it a couple days ago? You had the AT&T. Remember, everybody's phone stopped working. So I don't know, but hey, I'm still live on YouTube, so I guess it's not that bad. So 5084, we're getting back to 1590 here. First little bounce. AVAV, that would have been an earnings hit. We lost all March growth. Well, it's only been a couple days. Actually, we only had 1 day of March. So March has a high bar set, but you're holding up the February, which violated seasonality. AOB, they had offering news, I believe, as well. There's been a lot of offering news lately. Again, even SoFi, MSTR. It's like different types of offerings too for different purposes. Whether it's to buy Bitcoin, fund CapEx, or they just need money and thought it'd be a good time. Meanwhile, banks are still holding up. And then little red candle after baby green shoot off the bottom. Again, bonds holding up. Oil is higher, markets lower. Oil's doing very good. So again, oil is the only thing higher since the data. And I got out of that NCLH and SPR today. Macy's still climbing. They're up 1.3. Etsy on the high. Airbnb down. T-Mobile still holding up. Where's Google? Yeah, Jolts and Powell tomorrow. YouTube, Google down detector. No. Well, listen, Chad. We have a Twitch if we get disconnected. If they disconnect the Twitch, I could always stream alert you a private link. And then if I can't do that, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. But so far, I've had more problems with YouTube on other days. And then oil is still running up. And then another new low, so hold up there. Even Google flushing a little bit. Again, value plays are holding. I'd watch Apple and Google there, not to mention everything else, but 5082. SoFi they're raising money. So they sold like a convertible bond, I believe, or they did an offering to raise money. And then you literally just hit a new low, 50.82.5 on the SPX. Yeah, today is Super Tuesday, huh? Yeah, Facebook outages on the biggest primary day around the U.S. And then oil is just ripping now. So that ended up working. I should have double dipped at that low. But we got a little bit more than 0.5% now. It's Twitch TV / Trading Fraternity. You're invested in BGIO, Palantir, Lumen, and CNSL. BGIO. Apple getting a candle, and again, Google just went lower. Is that a crypto? I know Lumen. Humana, another low, huge green. Apple's getting a green. Again, Google dancing around. D-Walk on the low. Let me see one of these. Oof. Some of these contracts suck. Those might have too much time. Hating on Zscaler. Yeah, just no earnings love. No post earnings. It happens. I mean, again, we've seen it with Celsius. You either get really hooked up or you don't. I'm not selling. Intel, SMCI. Intel's on the low. SMCI, they're coming off the bottom. So I'm glad we took profits on one of the Intel plays. AVAV still going up. You think we're going green today? I think the bonds may hold up. SPY, maybe. Who knows? It's down a lot. I don't think the NASDAQ will. You never know, but we don't have too much in store. We still got more data overseas tomorrow, after hours, and then again tomorrow, job openings, as well as Powell. Those are going to be the big drivers. But I don't know. I think today we could pick up, on a lot of things. Markets sold off. Bonds actually held up green. Value plays actually got a bid. So we'll see. But again, by tomorrow morning, I do think the jobs will move everything. Down detector nuts. Yeah, Facebook down. I don't see the YouTube ones yet. Down detector. Yeah, I guess everybody. So Facebook and Instagram, Facebook, then YouTube, then even T-Mobile and Gmail. So again, a couple of things here. Honestly, everything kind of around the world just got clapped a little bit. That's all recent. It's all 738. Meta Andy Stone says we're aware people are having trouble accessing our services. Oil prices turned positive after falling by $1 a barrel. Yeah, AV. I was telling you guys, I was like, that's the one I wanted, but I didn't take it. But that one ended up going. It's a little pricey. I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of stuff on Down Detector just in the last 20 minutes getting reports. I don't know which ones are sustained or ongoing, but you are getting some issues. Again, I think Facebook and Instagram, that is the standout of all of them. The real question, did truth go down? Now you're asking the real questions. There you go. I don't know. I don't know. SWX, they're on the high. Didn't they have news or something the other day? And then Tesla's down 4.9. Again, they had bad China numbers again this morning. Or again, the factory in Germany went down. And then Bitcoin still holding 67,000. Again, SPY near the low we just set. Oil's rocketing. I'm mad I didn't triple dip. But that oil play we picked up after the data, I think we picked up the winner because that one's still holding. Is it down right now? Site is even down? Wow, the irony. SPY going to hit 5. I mean, we could do anything, but I'd just be more concerned if the rotate, like how much of a rotation holds up today, i.e., if we do close down, how much are we down? How much does the value go up? And then if we close down, how much do the bonds get value? And kind of look at the broad factors. Unless we sell below 5,000, then that's it.